Yeah, previous day we tried here actually. We have created here one domain controller previous day, node 1, node 2. Previous day node 1 was we are unable to add into domain. Actually, I have restarted it. Later it was added successfully. Check here. If I go to properties here, it is also in domain. Then now see domain is ready, node 1, node 2 are ready for us. Next year we have to access the shared storage drives. Storage drives we have created here. See in the domain controller that storage drives we have to access now from node 1, node 2. After accessing the drives, then we have to configure Windows cluster. Those are here pending steps are there for us. Check here like generally to access the storage from node 1, node 2, we are using here one software called iSCSI Initiator. iSCSI Initiator, which comes along with Windows. We can search here iSCSI Initiator. One software is there here iSCSI Initiator, which is by default comes along with Windows. Or here also we can see in tools somewhere it is there iSCSI Initiator. Anywhere here. Now, what is the purpose of this software? To access the storage drives, SAN drives. Now, it is asking where is the storage? It is asking what is the IP address of our storage here? Hmm. See, 100. Quick connect. It is saying already connected. Okay. After that, here go to volumes and devices. Click on auto configure. Automatically, it is showing two drives. It is showing. Okay. After that, here, now we have to go to
Sir, I have like a small
yeah,
question here.
yes, yes.
That while you're attaching that storage, right? Where
Mm,
you have addresses the IP address for like 100, like 192.168.1.100, right? That IP address you have given for the domain controller IP address, right?
right, right. Actually, why? Because in same machine we have created storage. That's why I'm using
Okay.
the same IP. Okay. Basically,
Okay.
it
Okay.
is a storage IP actually. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Now we have to go to here. We have to go to management here. Disk management. We have to We have to provide the drive letters here in node 1, node 2. See, disk management. By default, it is showing the two disks here. These are there in the storage actually. We have seen 1 GB, 5 GB. First, we have to make it online disks here. After that, new initialized disk. Okay. After initializing disk, we have to provide now drive letter. Let's say we have taken this 1 GB disk. It is actually. I will make it as a quorum drive. See, quorum drive. See here. Next. Okay, 1 GB. Next. Q I am saying quorum drive. Okay, so we can provide some disk later also next. So let's say perform a quick format AMC. This is for quorum AMC. Just label optional. Perform a quick format. Next, finish. Formatting once formatted successfully. Now it is available in my computer. See, quorum disk. Same things here. I will make this disk I am using for SQL Server. Same step. Initialize disk. Okay. New simple volume. Next. Let's say I will make it as a S drives here for SQL Server actually. Next. SQL one I am saying. Okay. So next finish. See, once the formatting is done, both the drives are available. Only C drive is our local drive where Windows is there. These two are shared drive. Same steps we have to repeat in Node 2 also. Observe first step is what? iSCSI Initiator. iSCSI initiator, same thing, type the IP storage IP address, quick connected etc. Then go to volumes and devices, auto configure. Okay. Next, same step. Disk management. Here also it will show you the two disk drives it is showing. Just bring online. Automatically it will provide the next drive letter. We have to change the drive letters here. Once I say bring online, it has taken E automatically. For example, we have to format again or no need to format again? No need. From node 1 already formatted, same disk. Just here change the drive letter just to Q. Why? Because it should be same in both the nodes. Okay, okay. Same things here. Bring online. Automatically it will provide the next drive letter. We have to change it. Same thing. Okay. Then change the drive letter. Still not provided. It is saying. E it has taken automatically change the drive letter. Change. Yes, drive. Okay. Yes. Letter is ready. Two drives are ready. In both the machines here, our drives are ready here. Now next step, see, now drives are ready now, everything is fine. Now we have to configure Windows cluster from any one node. But what I will do here, before configuring Windows cluster, I will go to, actually we have not set this private IP. I will set the private IP here. I already have set here 192.168.1.102 0 dot. This is actually 1.102. Just I am changing. Okay, 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 okay. So now same things here in node 1 also. Yeah, I will make this as private IP properties. Check here. 1 dot. Sorry, 0 dot. 101. So for this domain is not required. Only for public IP only we have to provide the domain credentials. Domain IP. Okay. Okay.
Sir, sir, right now you are changing to private IP address.
Yeah, yeah. Private IP address I am providing.
Yesterday you have provided the public IP, right, for all of them.
Yeah, yeah. This is the yes public IP yesterday I have provided. Same thing, just one dot I have taken. Just print series 0 dot for private. Okay. So in public IP we have to provide the domain credentials also. So domain IP. Yeah, see like two IPs are ready in both the machines. Now our next step is configuring Windows cluster. Everything is fine ready now. Configure Windows cluster. To configure Windows cluster, we have to go with the failover cluster manager. Failover cluster manager we have to use here to configure Windows cluster now. Why? Because yesterday in the features we have added one feature. Which feature? Failover cluster plus .NET framework at a time. So if you add that feature only, we can access this tools here. Failover cluster manager. Currently here there is no cluster actually. We have to create the cluster. Before creating cluster, first we have to validate the configuration. It will check node 1, node 2 IPs, storage everything it will verify. Wizard will verify. Once verified successfully prerequisites, then we can create the cluster, then connect to the cluster. Check here, validate configuration I am saying. Next it is asking, uh, select the servers. Nodes it is asking indirectly. Node 1 or IPs also we can provide. Okay, same things here. Node 2, add it. It is saying the node cannot be connected, that the node is powered on and is connected to network. It is connected. Node 2. Okay, some problem is it. This is our node 2 already powered on. We'll try again. Just problem is we can continue with node 1. We can configure the cluster. Later also we can add additional nodes. Sorry. Opposite servers.
Sir, I have like a small question here, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, in domain controller machine, you only configure the Ethernet, right? You did not configure the public and private, right?
Yeah, yeah, only one IP for domain. So it is showing. In other machines, it is not adding. Node 2, it is adding here. We'll create with node 1. Later, we'll add node 2. I think some communication, some problem is there. Node 1. Add. Should be added actually, not adding. Okay, next. So run all the test I'm saying next. So it will verify all the addresses like shared drives are there or not, two networks are there or not. It will verify everything. It's validated successfully, but with some warnings, it is saying. It's here in Node 1. So everything is validated successfully, but validation errors are there. Warnings are there, it is saying. We can see that where is the warning is there. So Windows team should clear it actually. Network related warning is there, it is saying. Network related warning is network communication, validate IP configuration. Local area connection 1 not operational, it is saying local area connection 1 adapter name public, this is operational, it is saying. Public, this is okay. Some warnings are there, no problem. Okay, finish. Now it is saying see, create the cluster, it is asking. So next cluster name it is asking here. So Win CL1 cluster 1 MC. Win CL1. So absolutely we have to provide the public IP range we have to provide for this cluster. This is what Windows cluster this is. So here 192.168.1.103 I am saying 101, 102 are node 1, node 2. This is what 103 I am saying. Next, this is the Windows cluster virtual IP. This is name and virtual IP. Next, see it is creating the Windows cluster. Now we have seen that WinCL1 is registered in the domain controller. Check here, Windows cluster is ready. WinCL1 currently node 1 is active node, and check here under nodes only one node is there. We have to add now our second node. Check your WinCL1. That WinCL1 is registered in the domains here. If I go to domain controller, dsa.msc, under computers it is displayed here, WinCL1. So virtual name was registered successfully. Now here we have to, in the storage, we have seen two disks are there. Still it is not showing the disks here. We can add the disks separately. So add disk, two disks are there from the storage added successfully, for example. So check here this cluster disk 1 it is saying with 1 GB quorum. Just we can rename it here, the properties for base identification purpose, quorum disks here for identification. This is for SQL 1, SQL server. Let's say I will make it SQL 1 for SQL Server. Okay. So disks are ready and we have to, both are available storage it is saying under available storage. Now what I will do, I will go to Windows cluster. I will configure here. We have to configure the quorum drive we have to configure here. So quorum drive manually we have to configure. So actually if two nodes were there automatically it will be configured. Configure cluster quorum settings. Okay, so next, sir, use default quorum configuration. Select a quorum witness I am saying. Next, so configure a disk witness I am saying. Which disk you want as a quorum disk it is saying. I want first disk I am saying. QRM. Why? Because in this disk now remember complete cluster metadata is maintained. Still it is configuring under roles here see witness disk is what QRM. That's you see now our Windows cluster is ready with one node. Node 1 is active node currently, and you see that in this Windows cluster nothing is there, empty cluster. Now we have to deploy, we can deploy always on, we can deploy SQL cluster, anyone. Empty cluster, two disks are there, but one disk is available here for SQL if want, for SQL installation or anything. So let's say first what we'll do, we'll add the node I will add here first. Let's say I will restart the both the machines one time. Maybe somewhere network issue is there. Otherwise, we have to remove this machine from the node. We have to add again, sorry, into domain first. So it is showing some network related problem. Just here we have configured now Windows cluster with how many nodes? One node. We have to add the second node, then only we can go with other configurations, SQL cluster or always on configuration. Yeah, started successfully. Machine one. So both the machines are ready now. Again, I will go to failure cluster manager. So immediately it is showing currently node 1 is active node. This is the quorum, right? We'll try to add the extra nodes here. Node 2 I will try to add again. Next node 2. Okay, added successfully. Next. Sir, yes, when I click next run configuration validation tests again I am saying. So no, I do not require support. This is it. Run configuration validation test. I'm saying same validation test. It will run here also. It will verify configuration everything, which is the select the additional storage to validate from the list below. Means storage here to avoid role failures. It is recommended that all roles using cluster shared volume to be stopped. If any currently we have not any roles are not there till now we have not deployed. SQL we have not clustered etc. So you can select additional storage to validate from the list below. You see storage also if you want to validate. Next. So same things here. It is validating the node 2. We'll see that any errors warnings are there. Suppose if once it is done successfully, our cluster is ready, Windows cluster is ready now with two nodes. Like this here, third node, if want, we can add like this multiple nodes whenever it is required. Later, if want to again configure always on, again we have to install what? Instances. In node 1, one instance, node 2, one instance with a domain account. Okay, so after that we can configure same. Testing has completed successfully, appears to suitable for clustering, it is saying configuration. However, some warnings are there, it is saying. Okay, so finish. Next. So automatically it is adding this node 2, it is adding into what Windows cluster. Finish here. Go to nodes, two nodes are there. Now currently here which is active node, node 1. Let's say just for that, currently I am in node 1. Let's say I will restart this machine, we'll see whether automatic failure is happening or not. I will go to node 2. I will go to same here, failure cluster manager, or we can go to run clue admin, cluster admin dot msc here to go to what failure cluster manager, clue admin dot msc. Okay, this is from any one node we can access the cluster details here. Now if I click on cluster name, now node 2 is active, right? So under here still two nodes are there, but it has come online very fastly. Node 1 also just now I have restarted. So that is like Windows under roles, no roles are deployed still, so working fine. Windows cluster is working fine with two nodes. Manually we can do failures here, Windows cluster failures here. Okay, select node 1, node 1 becomes again active node. See, node 1, if you see the disks here, for still for quorum, why? Because active, always active node will hold the quorum drive by default. So for the SQL 1, still node 2 is the active node, it is saying here, node 2. Okay, so next one here, like now these are still like resource status are there, online, offline, various resource status are there. Right.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, the quorum disk usage is to check the all the health for the clustering, right?
Yeah. Quorum disk consists of your cluster metadata.
Okay.
And we have seen like whenever we configure clustering, whenever we add a machine as a node, in that machines here, one separate service is created here, cluster service here, which is by
Okay.
default running, and this cluster service is responsible for monitoring the cluster information using quorum data. As well as
Okay.
this cluster service will write the errors into cluster event logs here.
Yeah, yeah, the cluster event logs.
Right, right, yes. So that is like how we can see like these are see like that's why both in both the nodes the services are running, clustered services are running here in both the nodes. Let okay, our Windows cluster is ready here. Next steps here now again if want to configure always on with these nodes, first we have to install SQL Server instance in node 1, node 2 one time. After that we can configure always on. Any other features, anything. Or SQL cluster also we can deploy. But because Windows cluster is ready, platform is ready. Let's say in this node subsidiary, there is no SQL Server software now. Just I will copy paste from my local machines here, host machine. Directly here, copy, paste into node 1. I am pasting here. In the paste. So generally what happen here, you see that VM tools are installed. Generally if VM tools are installed, direct copy paste is allowed. Generally. Node 2 also will try to copy paste the software, or no need to copy paste. we can share that software in host machine. So from that machine also we can access directly. Basically, in general, it may take time, but here my in my machine SSD drives are there. SSD, solid state drive. That's a very fastly it is copying. Maybe 1 2 minutes it will take. Yeah, in this Windows cluster, anything queries are there? Anything? Any other queries? We have configured successfully Windows cluster.
No, sir, I'm fine with that right now.
Okay. Yeah, same things here. I will copy paste here also. In Node 2 also, same software. Yeah, so once copy pasted, now I can install here one instance. Here in Node 1 is standalone instance. In Node 2 also one is standalone instance. Later we can configure always on that we have seen. Yeah, here see it was copied successfully. Just I will run the setup and I will install SQL Server with a domain account. That's why on the day one yesterday I have created one account here, SQL user, SQL users here. I will use this account for SQL Server as a service account. Same thing here, just a standalone installation I am doing for always on configuration. We can do directly cluster installation also, same some different steps are there. Next, these are the common installation steps already which we are familiar with. Only database engine, integration, services, and only shared features I am installing. The default locations. Let same thing we can go with anyone. Default instance or named instance. Next. Here see I will change the service account directly. I will use the domain account SQL user. Okay, domain account. So it's password. So startup type these are common. We can change automatic. Next. These things are common things. Mixer mode I am taking. Just some password I am taking. Yes, a password. This is. By clicking here, we can click on add button. We have seen we can add Nitin as a DB. Those things common. Other members. So in data directories, we can see that 8 folders. Just already we are familiar. Just I am going through. We have seen that this file is generated here configuration file. By using this file font, we can install one more instance directly here by from here. Advanced install based on configuration file. See how to install based on configuration file. You can see already I have uploaded in my website. Later we can see videos. Here see SQL Server installation using configuration file. Okay. So already step by step I have just same thing I have done. Right. So just here I will say install now. Installation is started. Let's say I will do the installation in my Node 2 also. Copy it successfully. So here also I will do one standalone installation with the same domain account. Once again, remember always it is best practice. Whatever the domain account we are using for SQL Server domain account, the domain account also must be added here in the local administrators group. See here, best practice in node 1. Okay, yes, here local users group administrators add SQL user. Just now I have used right this account. Apply. Okay, best practice here. Okay, added. Same thing in node 2 also. Let's say I'm going to use same account for SQL Server. Here also here under computer management. So in administrators group I am adding same account, domain account actually this is right. SQL user, same right. Yes. Good. Okay, so apply. Okay, that is the best practice is there here. Yeah, installation is going on in node 2 also. I'll make the instance ready.
Sir,
Yes,
for SQL Server, sir, for SQL Server cluster, you need to install the cluster installation, right?
right, correct. Yeah, this is standalone I am doing. Using that we can configure the always on configuration.
If you want to install SQL, like the standalone, we need to install that in installation. There will be option called cluster
Yeah,
installation,
directly
right?
we can use this one, cluster installation.
Yeah, yeah.
The machine, some problem is it. SQL setup has encountered failed to retrieve data for this request. Something it is. Sorry, setup. Some problem is there. It is. Maybe maybe I will try to access the same setup from this node 1 or from the local machine. My host machine is there 1.12, my host machine. Okay, so from host machine also directly we can access the setup. Means we have to share it so we can access, so that no need if copy paste is not working. Okay, so here no file. Sorry, not 1, 12, right? Yeah, it is asking my credentials. Okay, yes, here. Let's say we'll run the setup from here directly. The same problem is in here also. You see that it is in Microsoft is problem is this not is causing problems. Just I'll restart again. Node once here almost all it is completing the setup. Just here completed successfully installation. You can verify one time. Default instance I have taken node 1. Yeah. So after restarting it is working fine next. Check here this instance is running with local account or domain account. Actually we have used domain account. Server underscore services. For instance services are running with domain accounts here SQL user. Optimize our domain name /SQL user. Just I am continuing the installation in Node 2 also. Same options I am installing. Database engine I am installing. Integration services and management tools.
Sir, I have another small quick question here is do you know, sir, volume volume share
Service
control, yeah, VSC
VS,
is there in this it is implemented from 2012, right?
VSS you are asking volume shared service. Volume
If you
shared
can tell
you are asking.
after, yeah, if you can tell a little bit about volume share after this one, if you can tell me for this after this completion,
Yeah, yeah.
how we use that in the clustering and how it is useful, just can you give me like 2 points about that, sir?
Yeah. Yes, yes. So just here installation is going. Just through with domain account I am making continuing installation with domain account. Mixed mode I am using SA password, some strong password. Next, install. So, okay, our machines are ready here. Our Windows cluster is ready as well as instances are ready. Now we can configure always on. That we have seen that steps. First, we have to enable service level. We have to enable what? Always on. Then we can configure. So we'll continue again from here. Always on we have configured already. So just we have seen how to create Windows cluster. So if want, I will show you how to create SQL cluster one time very fastly in tomorrow's class. After that, we'll continue our Azure concepts next.
Okay, sir.
Right, Nitin? Okay. Yeah, we'll continue same time tomorrow also, Nitin, or we can take late.